Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Kabbalah 1 online. My name is Allison, one of the teachers that's going to be guiding you for the next 10 sessions, along with my colleague Michal, that she's also going to start with us tonight. And I wanted just to go over a few of the kind of housekeeping on Zoom for the class. And before we get started, so you can have an idea of how this is going to flow. If you probably all, I'm assuming, have used Zoom before, and there is an option that you can write into the chat. So we're going to be keeping everyone muted for most of the time. We're going to be asking like group questions that we can share, and it can be interactive on the chat. And we also will have options like for sharing and for journaling, and that will be able to unmute and mute the participants. And we have also joining us is Momo, and he's our tech IT support. So you'll be hearing us refer to him also. We're going to be using a PowerPoint. You're going to get the recordings of each session. You're going to get emails after each session. There's going to be a lot of follow-up that you get if you have to miss one of the classes, or if there's going to be a week that we have to skip. So all the communication will be on email. And for tonight, the class is going to be about 45 minutes. For future nights, it's probably, or it might be daytime for you, but for future classes, it's going to be about an hour and 10 minutes. You're going to have, as part of the class, you're going to be assigned in the coming weeks to a mentor, which is one of the students from the Kabbalah Center that's also going to be joining us for this class. And we're going to be able to have like smaller groups where you're going to have time to share. And you're going to have some more workshop questions to be able to help you really understand more of these concepts that we're going to be sharing with you over the next 10 sessions. So I hope that you're excited. And we just wanted to get started by writing into the chat, if you can all find the chat, and tell us where you're from, where in the world you're from. And I'll start. I'm from Israel. I'm not from Israel. I'm living in Israel. I'm actually born in New York City, and most of my life was living in LA, and moved to Israel about 2.5 years ago. So we have here Turkey and the Netherlands, and I saw also a California, Anatolia, and Florida, Washington State, and let's see where else we have Sweden and South Africa, another from Turkey, Turkey, Sweden, Tunji, and in Bordeaux, amazing, Poland, Santa Barbara, Memphis, from Iran, living in Turkey. Let's see what else. Where else are you guys from? And Portugal and South Africa. Okay, amazing. So we actually have for this session about I think there's about 200 of you that signed up that are also going to be getting the recording. So just so you know, you're part of a bigger collective. And if you are just taking the class as because you're curious and you want to see what the first session's like, you'll be able to get also a follow-up email with more information how to continue. And we want to get started now. I'll introduce Michal and Catrinel from Romania. I know you. Hi, Catrinel. Catrinel was just here with us last week in Israel. Okay, we have someone from the Czech Republic and Nigeria and Johannesburg. Amazing. You guys are all over. International group. Okay, Michal, are you with us?
I'm in. Good evening, everybody. So excited to be here. I am also located in Israel and also happen to be Israeli. So this is my hometown. I'm in Tel Aviv. I started my journey in Kabbalah 22 years ago. And every time we start a new course, I'm just excited, like from the beginning. So nice to see all of you and to meet all of you. And let's start. You know, one of the promises of Kabbalah, I mean, we're starting a journey together, okay? A journey of 10 weeks to begin with, 10 weeks. And Momo, we can move to the first slide. Okay, so already today, okay, we're going to talk about how we transform actually challenges, make them or understand how advantages there are and how our challenges are actually keys and gifts in our life. And the Kabbalist explains, so many of our studies are based, all of our study basically based on ancient texts of Kabbalists from 4,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, the previous century, and every time we will introduce more and more. And one of the ideas that the Kabbalists are talking about is how to make bitter into sweet, you know, how to turn on light in dark places in our life. And, you know, imagine when we go home, okay, when we come back home after a whole day, being at work, shopping, whatever it is, and we come to the house, right, and it's dark. So what do, right? It's very simple. We turn on the light, right? We don't fight, right? Do you try just to remove the darkness when you come home? You don't try to do that. Do you try to fight with it? You don't do that, right? What do? We actually come and we turn on the light. Now, why do I give this simple example? Because in our life, we have different challenges, different obstacles in different times of our life. And let's say that those challenges are like the darkness, right? Dark, it's dark moments, it's difficulties. And what we do in our life so many times, and because of that, the challenges do not move. They stay or they repeat, they come back. What we try to do is actually to remove the darkness, to remove the challenges. And one of the main idea, and already tonight, you're going to leave this class with tools. By the way, every class, we're going to introduce wisdom, different understandings, Kabbalistic universal tools, and actual steps. Okay, so what do I do with that? How do I take it into my life and already experience transformation in my life? So we're going to start with that already today. And the tools that we will learn today is actually, because that's what the Kabbalists explain. We don't need to remove darkness. There's no way to fight darkness. The only thing that we need to do, to learn how to do, is like in the house, to turn on the light. You turn on the light, where is the darkness? Disappear. So imagine, even before we start introducing the different concepts, imagine that your life, you know, it's like a huge house, apartment with many, many rooms. And every room is different aspect in your life. One room is health, and another one relationships and professional. And okay, imagine that. And we're just going to go in our journey and turn on the light in each and every room in our house, our life. And like that, help the darkness disappear from our life. So this is one of the main promises of the Kabbalist, okay? So let's start with journaling. One of the things that we're going to do in this course is to look inside, to have some thoughts, to observe, and to write down. Why? There is one way to study, you know, Alison and myself, we can stand here whole night and just talk to you. But the percentage that will stay is going to be very, very small. The best way to learn and to transform is when we take things into our life, we look inside, we understand, and we're making the transformation as we go with the study. Okay, so journaling, we're going to have those a lot. And let's start with our first journaling for tonight. You can write on your telephone, you can have a paper and a pen, whatever works for you. Just one thing that we advise, don't keep the answers in your head. There is something about writing it down, okay? It's taking the energy and actually ground it, manifest it. So our first journaling, what changed?
I just want to interject about the translation.
Okay.
And maybe someone who speaks Turkish can say that, but there's a special button on the bottom that says interpretation, that if you're taking the class and you need translation, you can click on there and there's Turkish translation. Can someone say that maybe oh, okay, Melissa wrote it. Okay, great. Okay, sorry to interject. We just forgot to say that.
Sure. Okay, moving back to our journal. So what changes would you like to see in your life as a result of taking this course and applying its wisdom and tools? Okay, which areas in your life you would like to see some transformation, shifts? And just, you can, share in the chat, the same way like we shared where we're coming from, just sharing the chat. Later on, some of our sharing will be verbally. We will talk to each other. We'll get to know each other. But for this specific journaling, you can just write in the chat. And it's something that is important actually to do. What's my desire? What am I doing here today? Why did I even come? You know what? Maybe one of the answers is curiosity. I just want to see what is Kabbalah. Okay, fine. But let's clarify for ourselves, what do we need? What do we want?
Katya is asking if you can repeat the question.
So here it is on the PowerPoint. What changes would you like to see in your life as a result of taking this course? Okay, so I want to be happy, so happiness. Get to know my shadow so I can manage it safely. Richmond, I would like to become more productive. Okay, relationships, Leila. Okay, that's too fast for me, Alison. You can jump in and help.
My mission in life, let go, greater sense of peace, understanding from others and of me as a person, transform complex acute trauma and PTSD into a refreshed and happy spirit, improve the quality of my relationships, learn about the tree of life, improve my relationships, my career, and connect more to myself, learn the tools of light and the ability to turn it on when I need it. Expand my spiritual knowledge and awareness, and have a better relationship with my husband, and to be able to teach my students in yoga another way to see things, and to know the mystics of Kabbalah. Understand my journey of life.
Tree of life. Okay, so for all of you with the tree of life, we have a good surprise for you this class already. So yes, your wishes are going to come true. Okay, we can move on with the slides. So if we look truly at our desires, right? What truly do we want in life, right? Kabbalah is a Hebrew word, and it means to receive. To receive, that's Kabbalah. Kabbalah is to receive. And the Kabbalists explain that each one of us came to this world to receive endless amount of fulfillment, energy. Actually, we don't move. The Kabbalists explain, we don't move in the morning. We won't get up from bed if there's no certain desire to receive. Okay? We want to receive. Now let's understand what are the things that we want to receive. And from there, we will learn why we don't receive what we want to receive. What is the nature of our desires, okay? But Kabbalah, the Kabbalist says that for each one of us, there is an endless amount of fulfillment that is just waiting for us. And the only thing that we need to learn to do is how to connect to that. So let's understand why we do not connect with that, okay? Because for some of us, you know, there are things that we're searching in life for years, okay? Some people search for relationships for many, many years, many years. They might even have a relationship, but then another one and another one. So many of us search for, I came to Kabbalah because I search for purpose. I really wanted to understand what's my purpose in life. And I had a great job and very fulfilling job before I started to study Kabbalah. Okay, actually, I was a theater teacher. I was teaching in high school. I was teaching youth that had some difficulties in their life, challenges in their life, and through the theater, many things open up for them. I felt a lot of fulfillment, but deep, deep inside, I felt, okay, but what is my mission? Is that my mission in life? By the way, that's how I found Kabbalah and decided, okay, that's my mission in life. But okay, so for some of us, this is what we are looking for. But many things that we are looking for, we don't find them. And it's like, you know, it's like a repetitive events in our life or repetitive disappointments in our life. So let's simply start to understand today why it's happening and how it's happening. So to all of you who wanted to know and to learn about the tree of life, here it comes. So let's put it on the screen. What is the tree of life? The Kabbalists explain that this universe is made of 10 dimensions. Okay, 10 dimensions. 10 dimensions of energy. We, the physical world, perceive only 1% of the entire energy that exists in the universe. So this is what you can see here in the tree of life. You see this underline, right? We have the physical world. This is the reality of the 5 senses, what we see, what we understand, what we know, my life experience. And we have a whole dimension, a whole world. The Kabbalists describe it as the 99% spiritual world, unseen reality. We can explain it energetically. Physically, okay? Physically, even take furniture in your house, right? We have the physical furniture. Okay, you go to a shop, to a store, you want to buy a chair, okay? There is the physical chair. But you can look at 2 chairs, excellent quality, looking beautiful, but for some reason you want this chair and not the other chair, right? When we search for a job, when we search for an apartment, I have a funny story. You know, a few years ago, I mean, it's not so funny. It's just like it's not logic, okay? And we will see how logic connects to the limited world, to the 1% world, to the physical world, the world that we live in, which is opposite from the real world, from the truth. We all say that we are looking for the truth. Where is the truth? There is the truth, which is illusionary, as the Kabbalists explain, illusionary truth, the truth of the 5 senses of the physical world. And there is the truth of the world, the spiritual world. A few years ago, we went to look for an apartment in Tel Aviv. It's not so easy to find an apartment. Okay, so we may, I don't know, it's equal maybe to Manhattan or Hong Kong. Anyway, I'm approaching this apartment, and already from downstairs, I see the balcony. I didn't even enter the house. And I tell myself, wow, that's my apartment. I didn't see it. So I was very excited that I have a good feeling. And then I went into the house, into the apartment. I thought that somebody just took a shooting machine and just shoot the wall. It was a disaster. Like, I don't know, like somebody took hammer and just, was knocking down the walls of the house. It was disaster. So what my eyes saw was absolutely turn away and just run. You don't take this house. I didn't even take a tour inside. I just looked like that and said, okay, let's close the deal. And after I left the house, I thought to myself, are you crazy? Or what's wrong with you? It's totally a disaster. But something inside of me, right? Intuition told me that's going to be your house. And of course, they renovated it. Okay, that wasn't the problem. Of course, we didn't take the house just like that. But the illusionary of what I saw and what I felt, my soul felt the energy. And because of that, we took it. And it was a beautiful house with many, many miracles and a lot of good energy. So the Kabbalists explain there's two realities. There's the 1% reality, which is based on the 5 senses. Okay? Which the intellect is in those 5 senses. It's something that I'm saying, okay? It's not one of the 5 senses, intellect, but definitely being affected by everything that is happening. And there is the upper world, the 99% world. It's the world of truth. It's an unseen world. It's behind the scenes. And we need to learn how to tap into that world. Every time we tap into that world, we bring in direction and protection and sustenance into our life. But if we just stay in the physical realm, in the 1% realm, energy, which is limited, this is what I explained before, as the Kabbalists explain, fighting the darkness. Because there's a whole world exists, and we insist to take care of things and to take solutions in our life and understand things in our life from something that is just 1% of this whole reality. So what we truly want, and we can see it in your beautiful answers, lots of you wrote peace and finding, improving relationships. Yeah, you didn't even write, I want to find my soulmate, or improving relationship, which is very spiritual. Most of the things that we want are very, very spiritual. The Kabbalists call this 99% world the unseen reality, the real fulfillment that we want to receive into our life. The Kabbalists call it light. We can move, yeah. What is the light? The light is the source of fulfillment and endless force of sharing. So everything that we really, really crave for, unlimited fulfillment. What does it mean, unlimited fulfillment? When I want a relationships, do I want a relationships just for 5 years from now, 10 years from now? When I'm asking for health, what kind of health do I want? Temporary health, last fulfillment health. We want something that is not physical. This is our true essence of desires. That's the desires of the soul. And in order to generate this energy into our life, which is the truth, we need to learn how to do that. So let's learn today, start to learning today, what prevents us from accessing this energy and this realm, the 99% realm, the main part of the universe. We can move on, Mama. So before, okay, Alison, you jump in?
We want to do another journaling question with you, everyone. And we just want you to think about something really recent that happened to you externally that made you challenged. So it could be something that happened when you were driving, something that would happen when you were in a store, something that happened in your family, with your parents or with your children or with your spouse or partner, relationship, like just something that happened externally to you that created a challenge for you. Just whatever is the, first thing that pops into your head. And we're going to use that as an example over the next few slides as we start to kind of unpack this concept of challenges to advantages. Okay, everyone's got something writing down. I'll give you another minute or so. You can also write it into the chat. We can see all of our situations that happened, or the 10 situations that happened today. We're all in it. No one is attacked on the street.
Wow.
Asking a friend to be flexible, and he responded by challenging me and arguing. Yeah. Okay, so you guys can keep on writing into the chat and inspiring each other with your challenges. We're all there. We're all in it together. Car broke down. Yes. His friend brought up something that repeatedly I asked him not to. Okay, Nelson, you need to think of something external, not something internal, external. Try again. Nelson wrote down, he wants to know his place in this world, but something outside from your environment. Okay. Now, as you guys are writing this down, we can just pause for a moment and kind of get into this space where we understand that we are constantly being bombarded by challenges and information. It's almost in day-to-day life, like unavoidable. You have to be pretty head in the sand not to encounter something during the day that can get you questioned or upset, or what we call, and we can move to the next slide right now, is we call it being reactive. So we're going to put here like the definition of reactive behavior. Someone wrote down like the car burnt down. Most people aren't going through a situation where their car starts to burn and they're like smiling and happy and, like loving every moment of it. It's like usually we're feeling like fear and like the world's crashing down and so many, questions and things to have to take care of. Like, it's just, it's all happening in a moment. And it becomes what the Kabbalists refer to as reactive. So reactive is any thought, any word, or any action which comes as a response to some sort of external situation or source. And it can be in both extremes. Like, we could get like super reactive when something, happens to us that's like very, very challenging, but we can also get super like reactive in a abnormal way when something like unbelievable happens. Like, where that can also be a reaction. It might happen to you, like, oh, I got so excited about something that someone said and then I found out it wasn't true, right? Like, it can come in both extremes. And I see you guys are writing down a lot of these things. So I just want you to take that in for a moment, that there are situations in our lives that happen to us, that challenge us, and that make us react. They make us react. These external situations make us react. And what we want to try to kind of unpack and get into and understand the source of in this in this class tonight is that there is a way to be able to turn on that light, even in those dark modes of reactive behavior. And in the next slide, we're going to see that there's two modes that happen to us. So one is to be proactive, which means that we can align ourselves to this energy of what the Kabbalists call light. And one is called reactive, which means it's different from the light and it's connected more to our ego, and not the ego, not the ego that's like talking about that you need a good ego, like the ego that's really, really preventing us from connecting to our soul. So when we're in one mode that we have the option to connect to, and you guys can write this down, we can be proactive. And when we're proactive, we can be connected to our soul. And when we're reactive, we can be, unfortunately, separated from that essence of light and connected to our ego. And so one is light. So being proactive is connected to the light and soul energy, which, going back to that tree of life picture, is connected to the place that all the energy comes into and comes from this essence of the light. And the other one, which we're talking about, it's kind of more connected to this illusion of physical reality that we're in, where we don't always connect to intuition, or like Michal said, like she just felt that this was the right apartment for her to go to. And these two modes are really, really essential to start to identify when we're in these different modes, when we're in one mode as opposed to the other mode, when we're in the proactive mode as opposed to the reactive mode. And like I said, sometimes this can be like even getting too excited about news that someone shared with you, or something that you thought that you were going to get to go to this event and you were so excited, and then what happens? It ends up that the event was canceled, or something happened to the car and you don't make it. So those are also classified as reactive. It happens both ways. So take again your paper and go back to this moment when you were challenged and relive what was your reaction. Momo, you can put on the journal question on the screen. So relive what was your reactive response, and actually describe it. Write it down and describe it. Just take a moment to do that and just try to relive it. You can close your eyes for a moment. Imagine what it was that you felt. What was like really the reactive part of you? And isn't it so interesting that like an external situation can create that energy inside of us that's so disconnecting us from where we want to be and who we want to be? That's, what's really interesting. I've also been studying Kabbalah studying and teaching Kabbalah since like 98, 99, something like that. So it's many years. And, this is how most of the world is, that we're just like the energy of living in like one big reaction, one big, we're constantly like trying to, figure out these challenges that are coming to us, why they are. And usually it's coming from more of the ego point of view than the soul point of view. So we want to start to understand and really feel and see like why it is that we have to go through those situations. So I see some of you wrote that you felt fear, and some of you can start to write more into the chat so that we can see here what it is that you felt to describe your reaction. And when you can, Momo, you can take off the screen for a moment. So just want to back up to when Michal was showing us the picture of this tree of life. When we look, when we talk about this source that the Kabbalists called the light, what it is that, what if you receive that light and you got it for one day, like really, you had it for one day and then it disappeared. Is that what you're really looking for? Or do you want that light to be able to be ongoing, like a constant in your life, that you could always understand a system of how to tap in to that light, that soul energy, that intuition that you have, that unseen energy, right? Like you're looking at two chairs, one has the energy of one thing, one is the energy of the other thing. How is it that we can see inside of the energy of the physical? So this is what the Kabbalists were teaching and explaining for thousands of years. And only in our time now is it gotten to the point that we have enough of a bandwidth. Let's say, if you think about like a few decades ago, we wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to, to share with, 50 something people now in all over the world. Like the bandwidth that we have right now is so unique that this is the exact time that this type of spiritual teaching needs to be shared with the world, because the world is craving to know how to create a connection to that lasting light. Again, you don't want the type of light, I don't want the type of light that's going to last for an hour and fizzle out. I don't want like the light that you put on the switch, it goes on for 5 minutes and then it turns off, and then you need to go to the switch again and turn it on. Like that would be broken. No one would, that would just be like, we want the constant light that always, we want this light to be able to be flowing in a flow. And all that light is available for us in this tree of life formation that we looked at before. And there is a system to help it to flow and channel into your life and into your world. So when we talk here, there's the picture again of you see the separation between the physical world and the spiritual world. So that endless light is in the spiritual world, and we want it to trickle or flow down into the physical world. So each class, each session, we're going to be teaching one of these tools. And the first tool, first rule, we're going to reveal is, well, now you see what it says, is pause, what a pleasure. And the reason Michal's going to go into it more, but I just want to say one more point before that. So the reason that we can learn how to be able to connect to this light is that we have the ability to have that light inside of us, that we can actually be like the light. We can be like the light. It doesn't need to be something like far off in an upper spiritual world. It's something that actually we can connect to in our life. And the spiritual law is that like attracts like. Like attracts like. So if you're having a challenge with your car, or you're having a challenge with your boss, your reaction to that situation is actually going to draw that type of energy into your life. So, Michal, do you want to continue with the pause? What a pleasure.
Yeah, and actually, Momo, can you please put the tree of life again? I just want to take your examples and for us to understand better, and then we will go to the main tool of tonight. So let's say your car went on fire, right? One of the students, the car went on fire. This is here in the physical world. That's what happened. Where this energy came from? Now, we don't see the big picture, right? Because this is just 1% from 100% picture. We don't see the other parts of the puzzles. Imagine, let's say that you were not supposed to reach the destination that you wanted to reach today, because either it wasn't the best for you, either something else could happen on the way. There are many, many reasons. One of the ideas that we become reactive and just operate on what happens and trying to fix everything is because we don't see the big picture. There is always a big picture. Now imagine that you could see how this burning of fuse in your car is the best thing that happened to you. Would you still be angry? You would be proactive and, turn off the fire for sure, but you will not be angry. If you could see why the bus came late, so you will not reach your appointment on time, and you will schedule another appointment, maybe with a better person for you to interview or whatever it is, disappointment, would you still be reactive? The answer is no, right? The idea is that we don't see when we get reactive right away, and we will understand later on in the classes why the universe is built in that structure, in that way. When we don't see cause and effect, why it's happening immediately, we just run and try to fix things. We react to them. So the Kabbalists come and explain, do you want to see this whole picture? Who doesn't want to see the whole picture? Who doesn't want to see why things are happening in his life? All of us want to see that, right? So here is the tool for you, how to see it. The Kabbalists explain. If you want to see the big picture, which is the light, which is the blessing in everything that is happening to you, the Kabbalists say, pause. Stop. Stop what? Pause what? Pause your reactive nature. If your reactive nature is to get angry, stop it. Don't jump into your reactivity. If your reactive mechanism is to judge, is to speak bad about something, whatever it is, the Kabbalists say, if you would be able to stop your reactive nature and just, what does it mean, what a pleasure? And just tell the universe, wow, I have here an opportunity. Here there is part of the 99% that I don't see. I want to see it, but the rule to see it is not to be reactive. So the universe says, okay, pause your reactive, your need to be afraid, your need to be angry, your need to, to do something, pause. Because when we do something, when we jump to do something, it gives us a sense of control. It feels good. Even though I have no idea what's happening, but I am in control, I am doing something. We will learn more and more to trust the unseen, to trust and to communicate with the 99% world. So when we stop our reactive nature, because the essence of the light is not reactive, is proactive. The light is only about sharing, giving, big picture. How is it good for me? Direction from the universe. This is the light. So when I am pausing and not allowing my ego to kick in, I immediately connect to the 99% level. Immediately. That's the rule. You want to connect? You want to understand why things are happening to you? You want to see the blessings in your life? Stop your reactive nature. Don't jump to react. For how long should I pause? Should I pause for a minute? Should I pause for 3 days? We will learn. It depends. But the right thing, the immediate thing to do is to pause our reactive nature. And then our energy connects to the soul, connects to the light and not to the ego. What does it mean? With the picture of the tree of life, soul is the 99%. We might not see the answer right away, but we have made the connection. The answer can come immediately, the answer can come tomorrow. As long as we've made the connection, it's going to come. So this is what we mean by pause. What a pleasure. What does it mean, pleasure? Oh, amazing, my car is going on fire. The pleasure is, oh my God, okay, there's something in the universe. There's a reason why it's happening. Let's pause, let's be proactive. Let's fix it. Or like, I don't remember the name of the student, but you said, after I come down, I just made another appointment. But if we first react, we disconnect ourselves from this world of truth. And then we try to remove the darkness by fighting it, instead by turning on the light. So how do we turn on the light? That's how we started the class tonight. We pause. We do not allow the reactive nature to jump. Is it going to be easy? Not at all. Not at all. But we are starting to practice it, starting tonight. And that's going to be our homework. And that's going to be our exercise for this week. And you will see, guys, the more you practice, the more you're following the exercises, the better you understand and the bigger revelations that you're going to have in your life. So we really encourage every week from one class to another to take the tools and to taste them, to feel them, to use them as much as you can. And every beginning of class, we would love to hear you sharing. How did it go? What happened? Right? Maybe some of you became even more reactive. The posing made you more reactive. Okay, share with us. Let us know. Let us know. And along the way, you will have the mentors, which we will introduce next week, to help you with the homework and the exercises. We can move on to the next slide. So the rule and the tool for our first class and beginning of our journey. The rule is, if we want to reveal the light, connecting to the 99%, connecting to the world of answers, to the world of truth, connecting to miracles and lasting fulfillment. In order to do that, we need that our energy will be similar to that. So if I'm reactive, it's not similar to the 99%, because that is only light, there's sharing, giving. So I need to align myself with the light, because it's a universal law, like attracts like. If I'm reactive, what do I attract to my life? More chaos, more misunderstanding, more doubts, more questions. To reveal the light, act like the light. How? That's the tool. How to do that? Pause. What a pleasure. Just stop your reactive nature for a second, for 3 seconds. See what happens. Breathe in, breathe out, see what happens. 3 times a day, you won't be able to do that, but 1 time, yes, amazing. Okay? Give yourself credits. You don't need to, I'm not pausing every time when the universe bringing something into my life. So be generous with yourself. To be happy with the times that you succeed to do that, and to be even happier when you don't succeed to do that. But you could see, here I should have done that. It's also part of the process. Okay, so let's look at the light work. Alison, do you want to present the light work for this week?
Sure. So one more slide is your thought into action. So we want you to try to apply the pause, what a pleasure, and try to do it as often as possible. And then after that, we want you to try to journal about your experience for about 5-10 minutes and start to see if there's like a difference that you feel, or like something igniting inside of you, or if it was difficult. So this is, we're kind of like throwing it on you. So you can take it like as not reactive, but more like an observer, and see what it would be like to take a situation in your life that is challenging, and to pause and to reframe, create like a new neural pathway in this experience that is going to give you the ability to be able to see some sort of light. And from the light's point of view, what comes out of that, what type of pleasure is there. And just reminding me, last week, Michal and I were hosting 2 days of workshops, and there was one of the sessions that we really wanted to have, which was like a sound healing session in a really amazing cave, and it was a surprise for the participants of the workshops. And so I was trying to like keep the whole thing really secret. They didn't know it was happening, but at the same time, the woman that we had asked to do this session was trying to set up everything in the cave, and it wasn't working so easily for her. Like it wasn't happening. So I didn't know what to do. And in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I was in all sorts of reactive thoughts about like, it's the first time we work together. I was thinking already about the future, and it's not working out. And I went to Michal and I was like, I think we need to like cancel this. And Michal said, what's the problem? Like, I was sure we had to cancel this session, which was really kind of disappointing to me, but I definitely was like a little bit in that reactive state. And Michal, she said to me, what's the problem? I said, well, the woman can't carry all of her stuff and get everything set up in time, because we need to be there in like 15 minutes, something like that. So Michal said, well, let's just help her set up. And it was like such a genius idea that I hadn't thought about. And I think it's like a really great example of how to transform something that could be reactive, where like in my head, everything was over. We weren't having this like amazing session. And then that was so simple. Like, I didn't think of that. Of course, we can do this. We can help her set up. And we got there, we helped her set up, and she probably wants to work with us more now because we helped her so much. And, the whole time after, the session was incredible. And it was really like life-changing, incredible. We can probably, over the next like 9 classes together, and go through the details of this one experience of like how all the Kabbalistic tools that you're going to learn are connected to this. But it was just so simple, like how to think, to say, okay, this situation can turn from a huge challenge into an advantage, right? So I think that, what do you think, Michal, of that example?
No, listen, I don't want to talk about myself. Okay, this is one of the, one times that I had this posing, because just a few minutes ago, I told you that many times I cannot pose. No, but it's like really, really beautiful. I think what we can do, all of us, because we have our moments, maybe take your challenges and just, in all the places that you were reactive, think to yourself, what could be a proactive approach to that? And then try to roll it in your head and feel the situation, see how things are shifting, because we can go back, right? Go back to the situation, replay it, and see how it feels to you. So this is another way that we can actually practice. Beside new situations that will come into our life, let's take the one that we were reactive at and think to ourselves, how could I be proactive? And we play it differently and see how it makes us feel and what happens. Okay, guys, so great.
So you guys are gonna get you're gonna get instructions if you want to continue. If you're just taking this class for the first time. And you can see Sarah, she's here on the screen with us as admin, Sarah David. And she's actually the one that's WhatsApping you and emailing you. And she's really great support for us. Sarah, there anything you want to say?
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to have you tonight, and I hope you enjoyed so far. Whoever is trying the class for the first time, we will send you a recording with this class, and you can share it with friends, and they can join as well. And we will send you the link to registration for the full course. And if you have any questions or anything with payments or any, if you have difficulty with, paying, we always, encourage if you got connected to this wisdom and you think it's going to benefit you, then we will be happy to help you out. So I'm available on my WhatsApp. I will put my information and the email on the chat, and you're welcome to contact me, or we're going to have mentors soon. By probably next week, we're going to arrange mentors, and it's going to be like a wonderful journey. Whoever is registered will get a 30 minutes meeting along the course with one of the teachers. And we are very, very excited for this. This course really, I listened to it so many times, and it really changed my life. The teachers are teaching for a very long time, influencing a lot of students, and it's really like recommended. So thank you so much, and I'm here for you anytime, okay? I will put it on the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet all of you and starting our journey.
And
very exciting.
yes.
See you next week. And don't forget to exercise. Okay. All the best.
Bye.